Peace. Today is Sunday the 10th. Today's math is knowledge cipher, all being born to knowledge. Knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence. A cipher is a person, place, a thing. Take your knowledge through the cipher and create more knowledge. Peace. All right, peace.
What up, though?
Welcome back to the Yanadameen Godcast. I am Lord Jamar.
And I'm Digga.
And right about now, our special guest. Put your headphones on, girl.
I'm good.
Oh, you good? Okay.
I'm good.
She's like, I ain't gonna fuck up my beautiful little.
No. I'm gonna tell you. You know what it is? It's from years of performing. I don't know if everybody else has this, but for me, I have very sensitive ears, and when you cover your ears, what you do is you actually hold in a certain amount of heat. That's why you guys would sweat so much.
Oh,
well,
shit.
I'll tell you the scientific.
She gets scientific and shit.
Yeah. And so what'll happen is, it can be damaging.
Okay, well, we hear you.
Yeah. So
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
let's do it.
rap royalty right about
Yes.
now. Roxanne Shante is in the building right about now.
Thank you.
How are you, queen?
I am great. I mean, my voice sounds a little hectic right now, but that's because I have been working so hard. I think really I've been working consistently and nonstop for, I want to say 7 months just from the movie alone.
Well,
so that's like a lot of
booked
interviews,
and
a lot of
busy.
things.
First of all,
exactly. But I mean, I work every weekend for the past almost 30 years.
First of all, congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
Netflix biopic.
Yes.
Thank you.
That is like some real Netflix and chill shit right there.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure that Netflix check is nice, or it's going to be looking nice when
it absolutely allows me to flex and chill.
There you go.
All right.
Netflix. She's Netflixing.
Netflixing.
And chilling.
And chilling. Absolutely.
But yeah, you're looking beautiful. And
Thank you.
It's, man, we are so glad to have you here. We're going to definitely get into, an in-depth interview and just, go into a little of your life and your history and what you're doing now and all of that, blah, 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 blah. But we just want you to chill with us right now.
Shoot the shit with us.
To shoot the shit.
Oh, I like that. I
Because-
like the way that sounds.
So just this Friday,
Yes.
you and I just had a show at the Barclays Center for
Absolutely.
the 30th anniversary of Yo MTV Raps.
Absolutely. And I must say, brother dear, you did a great job as always.
You as well. It was
Thank
some
you,
bomb
thank
shit.
you.
This one's looking a little mad because
You know, Yo MTV, he laughs at me. Yo MTV Rap was actually one of my rap dreams. Like when I decided I want to make this a career, my goal was to be on Yo MTV Raps with my backup dancers. But I never got to do it because
the show got canceled and you came
by
out.
the time I grew up.
Right. Wait, were you? But the basement, was the basement out when you were out?
Yeah, the basement.
Okay.
So then that was a more
That was
a
new-
more attainable goal from me.
Right.
And I killed that basement. You could pull that up on YouTube
Okay.
right now.
There you go.
That's a basement classic. That's
Okay.
like one of their top 10 classic freestyles.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Yeah, here we go, y'all. Me and my mans blow like 100 grand. Got a villa in Manila, another one in France. Some old Porsche jet, some old Hummer van. Flip over, been on the roll ever since Summer Jam. My crew that tight, while y'all suffer breakups. A diva overseas like I'm Josephine Baker.
That's what's up. But yeah, that was some classic shit. Fucking Yo MTV Raps.
Yeah,
30
and that was one of the
years.
longest concerts that I had ever been to, and I couldn't believe that it lasted that long.
God damn.
Because I could just imagine, I mean, but it was great to see everybody there. But also, how sometimes it can be when you have like old school artists, everybody wants to get on
when
the mic.
I saw the lineup, I was like,
Yeah.
this is going to be
All night.
a long night. And all we had, they allotted us was 9 minutes.
Exactly.
So we had to squeeze in some songs in 9 minutes.
Absolutely.
But we made it work.
Yes,
And
did a great
shout
job.
out to Brooklyn.
Shout out to MC Shan. Shout out to Bismarcky. Shout out to Big Daddy King. Shout out to everybody that showed up and showed out.
That was actually my
was
first
great.
time performing at the Barclays, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had performed there once. When they couldn't find my boxing tickets, I showed out.
Okay.
I performed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how you perform.
yeah, that's how you.
Couple
That's
things
how you.
are busted
That's how you
in.
perform in
Did you?
Brooklyn.
Okay. Well,
couple things with bust.
Definitely a great event. And
yes.
Shit, man, it's always a pleasure to grace the stage with the queen. We got some rap shit to talk about.
Okay.
But before we get into that, if you'd like to donate to the show, go to cash.me/$Yanadameen or patreon.com/Yanadameen or Yanadameen.com/support. Also, before we go on real quick, I'd like to acknowledge the Hall Mills Network, okay? Now, when the show starts, there's a little, shit that flashed, H&M, and I know everybody sees the production value on this show, and they're like, damn, this shit look real good. And they're probably thinking, damn, did these motherfuckers sign a deal with some, with some white people or some shit like that? No. Okay, we are doing this with some up-and-coming brothers out of Newark, New Jersey. Okay, a production company straight out of Newark, New Jersey, of original people. And yeah, we showing black excellence, where everybody likes to hashtag black excellence. Well, that's what we about around here. And so I want to shout out my man, director Jamal Hall, my super editor, Harold St. Louis. Okay, he the one that be putting in all the funny little, you know what I mean? Yeah, the funny little shit in the show. And my man, the operations manager, Cornelius Big Grim Whitaker. I wanted to shout them out. We couldn't bring this show to you, basically without them at this quality.
Shouts out to the black
level.
Entrepreneurs.
All right, that's how we do.
Yes.
So now that we got that out the way,
okay.
Yeah.
Some rap shit just went down.
Yes, it did.
And I'm glad you're here for this because, we all know Roxanne Shanté from coming in the game basically on some battle rap shit.
Right.
Absolutely.
We can officially call you a rap battle aficionado.
Straight up.
I like that.
UTFO came out with Roxanne. Now, shout out to my man Kango Kid, who actually came up here and was a guest.
Yep.
So they had a hit record called Roxanne.
Yes.
And it seemed like, I don't know, everybody and their mama was kind of trying to respond to that at the time. Were you the first one, or were there actually others? Or was just yours the best one?
I actually was the first person to respond to it, and the response to it was not something that was planned or we thought of. It wasn't that.
It didn't sound like it.
It wasn't. It was just a freestyle. I just happened to be a great freestyle artist who was able to make up stories at the time, and I was in the middle of doing laundry, and Marley was like, listen, well, you know what? They got a song out called Roxanne. Can you do something on that? And I was like, okay, yeah, just play it. And so he played it, and I just, created the story right then and created the character and left it alone. Wasn't even, didn't even want to be a rapper. I did battle rapping, but I did battle rapping as just a way to make extra money if they happen to have something that I felt was financially worth it for me. And then they would bring people to the projects to battle me. But that's what I used it for, just to, to buy sneakers and sheepskins and bomber jackets and shop on Delancey Street. Like if there was something it was like if there was something that my sisters wanted, then I'd say, okay, well, look, find one of those rap battles and let me just go and get that money and I'll be back.
Now, real quick, wasn't it a cassette before it was even wax? Like, was it a cassette played on Mr. Magic at first? Because I remember.
Yes, it was a cassette that Marley had placed it on a cassette tape from his house, and then he just took it to the radio station that night and he played it. And the next
sound quality was so shitty, but that's what made it dope.
And it had to be one take.
That's what made it
punching
sound.
In on cassettes.
Yeah, there was no punching.
That's what made it sound so raw. I remember at the time, because I was one of those kids I'm staying up for Mr. Magic, Supreme Team, all of that. So I may have heard it like the first time that it was ever played. Like I'm one of those type of dudes.
So you were officially the world premiere.
I mean, staying up. I'm a little kid though, but I'm up waiting for this shit.
And you know, like a poet, it's WBLS 107.5, the class of New York City radio. Good evening to your super listeners. How you doing tonight, all you fly guys and fly girls? Welcome once again to the world famous Mr. Magic Rap Attack, and of course, I am Sir Juice.
And
I remember the quality got better, you know, as the record got more famous. But originally, it was the sound quality was like. It sounded like a tape.
I want to share a hip-hop fun fact. You are the reason that I rap.
Oh, shit. She shared this before.
And I actually shared this because we talked about the biopic on the Godcast earlier. But the very first rhyme that I wrote was in response to the real Roxanne defending you. So when the real Roxanne called herself getting at you, I became your sister, and I got a tape recorder from Radio Shack, and I had the instrumental in the background.
Wait, wasn't one of those triangle, the long ones?
It was a long rectangle
with the buttons at the end.
Yes. And you had to push the recorder.
Oh man, with the hands. They used to have them shits in school. You could put a little mic into them.
I had my tape recorder, and I recorded a diss track to the real Roxanne, and you were my sister.
Oh my goodness, I would have loved to have heard that.
He was trying to get me to remember lines
because
from
it was so crazy. Because like at that time, that would have been something I would have definitely welcomed because I felt like it was the whole world against Shanté. Like. Everywhere I went, you know, everybody had their own Roxanne, and
just know
every time
that's what I'm saying. It was getting crazy at one point.
Every time I would land, it was almost like being. And I hate to use this concept, but it's just how I felt. It was like almost like being a pit bull in a cage all day up until it was time to come out and fight every night. And that's what the whole concept of hip hop felt to me. For those first few years. Like, that's what it was. It was always open up the gate, get him, Shiny. And then once I finish, I just go back to my regular life.
Well, just know you had a baby sister in the mean streets of Newark rapping her ass off to the couch
there you go,
on your back.
There you go.
I remember going to one of your shows
in
Yonkers
at
a roller skating rink called Wheels. Do you maybe remember that?
I remember Wheels, but I can't say I remember that performance because I've done so many performances over 35 years. It's been,
Because I was trying to like send you telepathy from the crowd.
Were you?
That ponytail was just looking. Oh, your hair was slicked back, so sweet. And oh man, you was just a young drug dealer's dream. Like, you know what I mean?
He was talking dirty about your ponytail.
And I said, "Oh man, look at her." I'm just,
and it's so crazy.
I'm just staring. I'm like,
but you know, those weren't the features that people really were attracted to at that time. You know, at that time, a lot of our young men and a lot of our men were still lost at that moment. You know, with them being they were still lost at that moment. So you know, it was always the light skin was better or the lighter was better. And see, I had like these slanted eyes and all this bushy hair. No one really was into that. Like now people are drawing it on. So they're drawing slanted eyes and they're buying bushy hair by the pound.
I had knowledge of self.
So then
so your style, and it's funny because you said this earlier, I didn't necessarily know this. You said that you had knowledge of self.
Absolutely. And it's so crazy because the gods were always telling me, like, you know, you won't take an attribute. Why won't you take an attribute? You need to take something that means something. That's what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Earth, you got to have something that stands for something. So I said, okay, fine. He was like, so break down Shanté. What does Shanté mean? I said, okay. Supreme Highness, Almighty Noble Topic Exponent. They was like, oh, God. She broke it down. You know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted to be Shanté. I didn't want to be Queen, you know, like everybody else was changing their name, Star Asia, Shemeka. You know, everybody was picking up names, you know, Queen Knowledge. And I was like, no. They was like, and who are you? I was like, Shanté.
And see, that attracted me too when you said you think you a god, but you do eat lard. I said, oh shit, she know about the gods, and she know about some of the fake, what we used to call them, Muslims, like pork-eating Muslims. Muslims and
Muslims.
yeah, and jive pretenders and shit. You understand what I'm saying? And those be the type motherfuckers that act like they God, but then you'll catch this motherfucker eating a ham sandwich or
Knock
some
right
shit
on his door.
at the crib. Yeah, and he opens
Mouth
the door.
greasy.
Yeah, with a bacon, a full plate of bacon and shit.
Talking about, my old earth, that's what she cooked. She made me eat it. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's dope. So your whole style now, it makes me understand.
I feel
more.
like my then boyfriend had a crush on you. I might have had to check him like, excuse you.
And that's the thing. You'd be mad at some shit like that when you was young, right? Like, why you in love with this motherfucker? Like, my girl used to love LL.
Okay,
And I used to, fuck that nigga. You know what I mean? Although LL was my nigga, but when it came to my girl,
I think everybody
like, hey.
and their mothers had crushes on LL.
Goodness gracious.
So we're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
We're gonna have you the whole hour, so we're gonna jump back and forth between you and
we forgot about what the fuck we okay.
hip hop. Right?
Let's get into it. Hip hop real quick.
Yes.
Okay.
We would love the aficionado's
Drake
opinion.
Yes.
And Pusha T.
Yes.
Woo woo.
So apparently Pusha T dropped a song. What was it called?
Infrared. Off the album Daytona.
Where he gave a little jabby jab at your boy Drake. I thought it was cool. Not the greatest shit in the world, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm a Pusha T fan. But it was cool. It was, it was cool. Drake came back
great
with some hot shit.
And that's why I love Drake.
Drake, and he didn't wait. It was almost like,
it was 24 hours.
Yo,
like,
literally
responded
24 hours.
That's some Roxanne Shanté shit. I like that.
So I was like, wow, this is pretty dope. First of all, we have a different engineer this week. Shout out. Tell the people your name.
Rashid.
That's
Go by the name Mo Fire.
Okay.
How y'all doing?
Okay. He's filling in for Alex this week. So I'm like, wow, is he about to get bodied by a singing nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause this motherfucker Drake, he's a bad boy when it comes to this shit.
Drake is with the shit.
So I'm like, uh-oh. Like, that shit was very strong. I felt it was stronger than the shit Pusha T had originally jabbed him with.
And when we talked about it,
I texted Digga, and I'm like, why do these niggas keep fucking with this nigga Drake and keep getting bodied by a singing nigga? She said, well, I think Pusha T shit was an album cut and Drake was a more direct diss. She said, my money's on Push.
Yes, I did. I did.
I said, okay. I didn't even reply to that. I just kind of just soaked that in. Like, you know what? Let's see. Well, I was like, well, he need to respond like today, though. He need to hurry the fuck up. Right. Is what the fuck I think I said. Boom. Here he comes with the next joint. The story of Added On.
Which is supposed to be the name of Drake's
Adonis.
son.
No, Drake's son's name is Adonis, but then he also has a deal with Adidas. Okay. And I think the Adidas thing was supposed to be called Added On as a mixture of his son.
There's supposed to be a nice rollout.
Yes, he was going to almost on some shady shit.
Cross-promote it with Adidas.
Yes, and this motherfucker
just blew the lid.
Pusha T went to town. When we talk about personal, and
now people are feeling a way about him getting that personal. I personally love it. How do you feel about
Well, from what I understand, Drake went at Pusha T's fiance in the original one, which made all bets off.
Right.
Which made
facts. Facts.
Girls and children, all of that is now legal once you start doing that. So Drake's the one that pulled the gloves off first. But yes, let's get the Queen's take on this new age battle.
Well, I do. I love it. One of the reasons why I respect Drake the way I do, or, admire his style, is because he will respond. He definitely has and I don't want to just call it like only Roxanne Shante does that, but people knew that if they made a record about me, I'm going to respond. For me, I'd respond like at the show the next day. I'm here physically.
At the show.
Yeah, we not going to do this. I'm not waiting for I'm going to be at your show. And I'm going to play your song, and I'm going to come out on stage.
Old school.
I'm going to do it that way because, I didn't
bully
know.
rap.
Does that anymore?
I miss bully rap.
These motherfuckers hide behind computers.
Yeah, like I couldn't, because for me, having little sisters and already having a son, I was never going to walk in fear. So if I feel that this is going to be an issue, I need to see it in your face. Because what you said sounds like it could be a possibility that if I see you, it could be something.
Right.
So I need to see you in your face. So now that I see that this is only just rap,
right.
Oh, then I got you.
Right.
But if it was more than that,
right,
I got you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not going to go past tonight.
So what do you think about, you heard both records, yes?
Yes.
What do you think? Who's
See, you know what it is? I think with
what's the score?
Okay, the way it is with hip hop now is people have so much time to get so personal with each other because somebody's always willing to give them personal information. Somebody's always willing
there's
to
more
give them
personal information out there.
Exactly. But, they're able to do that. So, I kind of still like, battles to be face to face right now, unwritten, because like the whole concept of freestyle has changed. Like for me, freestyle meant you walked into a room, you didn't know what you was going to rhyme about. So whatever flowed out your mouth freely was your freestyle. Now it's just the way people write it. And because they're able to, flow freely with it, now it's considered a freestyle. So I was just a little confused on the concept of it.
Well, see, I kind of disagree with that. I always felt like a freestyle was any rhyme not recorded on a record or anything like that. Off the head is some shit that's not written. So you got freestyles that can be written, and then you have off the head. And I feel like somewhere along the line, the two got intertwined somewhere.
Okay, I'll go for that. I will definitely go for that. And so that right there stands where I feel that there's a difference between, when somebody says, listen, so go ahead and hit them with a quick freestyle. Maybe because I've never written rhymes. When someone would say to me, hit them with a quick freestyle.
Right, for you, it
was like,
literally
okay,
making
whatever
it up
it is
as
right
you
there.
go along.
Right.
Exactly. But I guess a freestyle for someone who has tons and tons of rhyme books, then that would be their freestyle.
Right.
Right. So I like to see battles just happen, just right then and there. I like to see street fights
because the action.
I like boxing,
right?
But I love street fights. You see what I mean?
That
because
Kimbo Slice,
like the actual battle rap scene now, it's like they're scheduled for like a
3
month
months
and a half away.
Right.
Like
so
2
now
months
they
away.
find so much, and then when they come, that's what they do. But like the difference between a street fight and boxing, and I'm a huge fan of both. Yeah. The main factor is with the street fight, we didn't train for this, so whoever wins really won. Now in boxing, whoever has the best trainer, whoever has the best technique, whoever has the best corner,
stamina.
whoever's the best stamina, whoever has the best corner, whoever has the best cut man. I need you to go like this with your brow. I need to, let your eye be just rub like this and go back in. I need that type of thing. And that's the same way I felt about hip hop. And that's the same way I still feel about hip hop. So, when it comes to these battles, I love them. I'm entertained by them. Right now, I would say definitely that Pusha is up, but I'm saying don't count Drake out. Why? Because again, this is a type of boxing. So right now they're in their corners. So yeah, he won last round just like he won that first round. But see, in a street fight, we not having no rounds. We're going to do it right here, right there. It's no rounds, no corners, no nothing. People just got to yell out shit from the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, get up off the ground.
You just Harold Letterman this whole shit right now.
I know.
Okay? You just Harold Letterman this shit. Before we go to break, Queen, who's up right now? What's your quick assessment?
Team Push.
Okay, so he won the last round.
Yes, I'm going to agree with her. He won the last round.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to count Drake out. I'm not going to count either one of them out. This is turning out to be
this is
something beautiful.
Right.
You know, as far as hip hop is concerned, because you got two people that actually
two game sevens and a lyrical rap beef in 1 week.
So listen, I'm there
you go.
Sports.
There you go.
That's a whole that's some whole other shit.
This was a great weekend.
But okay, so we're gonna go to break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk more with Roxanne Shante.
Please believe it.
Peace.
Peace. It's the absence of all confusion. United we stand, divided we fall. 2 fingers together is the real peace sign, y'all. Brand Nubian PEACE gear. Hoodies. T-shirts. Snapbacks. Available at hoodg.com. Get yours today.
All right, peace. Welcome back to the Yanadameen Godcast. Lord Jamar.
Digga.
Special guest, rap royalty herself.
Thank you.
The one, the only, Roxanne Shanté.
Please believe it, baby.
So, all right. So yeah, you know, your career spans such a vast amount of time, but it's a beautiful time in hip hop that you came out in. Like,
right.
That whole Juice Crew experience. Like, were y'all like the first like really big crew?
Actually, we were.
Cause y'all was like Death Row or some shit back in the day.
Sure
you understand what I'm saying?
Because we were the only crew that were not a collective group, meaning we were not the Furious Five, we were not the Fantastic Four, we were not.
You instead, were individuals.
we were super friends.
Yes.
You know, you had you had Superman, Spider-Man, Aquaman, Wonder Woman. So and then really together we were like the Justice League. Like when we showed up, we showed out. And still today we do.
If motherfuckers don't really understand.
My favorite crew of all time, too.
How empower MC Shan was.
Oh, my goodness.
When MC Shan was out. Down by law. Down by law. Fucking change. I mean, MC Shan was the motherfucking man. Like, he was rivaling LL in a way. Like MC Shan. I knew mad niggas wanted to be MC Shan.
Absolutely.
Mad niggas wanted to be MC Shan.
Rap was God to me.
But okay, hang on.
We ain't even
Hold up, pump your brakes.
I'm sorry.
Because this is
okay, I'm a little younger.
This is
go down
coming.
The line. Okay.
MC Shan is first on the list. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you got niggas from the same crew now coming up. You got niggas like Kool G Rap. Yes. Now I'm getting up on Kool G Rap on something like Rackers. You won't be smiling on Rackers, Allen.
Okay.
That's probably the first time I heard Kool G Rap.
Okay.
Did he have a demo before that? Nah.
No, he did. And you know what the song was called? It's a demo.
That's what I'm saying. I was gonna say, did he have a demo? Yes, he did have a demo. And straight off the back, that shit was a hit the first time I heard it.
Yep,
but Rikers Island, again, he mentioned the gods in Rikers
Island.
Island.
Won't be smiling on Rikers Island.
Kool G Rap taught me how to rap.
And then
he taught me how to physically formulate a 16-bar verse. Like, that's who I study as far as,
then
like,
you're gonna have
rhyme
Biz, you're gonna have Kane, Roxanne. I mean, just it was crazy. Yeah. It was an overload, and the fact that y'all was smart enough.
Master Ace, another one of my
Master
faves.
Ace, Craig G.
Yes.
The fact that y'all was smart enough, Molly Mall. The fact that y'all smart enough, Fly Tie, fucking
Mr.
What's the
Magic.
homie? What's the
because that's
the music? What's the singing dude? Oh, TJ Swan. Come on, yo. The fact that y'all were smart enough to come together and say, you know what, we kind of stronger as a collective than we are as little.
I'm gonna tell you exactly how the Juice Crew came about.
Separate pieces, please.
The Juice Crew came about because I was the first artist. So you know, I knew Marley, and so I made Roxanne's Revenge. Roxanne's Revenge was such a phenomenon. It was such a hit record that I was able to bring everyone on tour with me. And so each Juice Crew member was my DJ first.
Wow.
Every last one of them was my DJ first. And when they came and they were like, because they were my DJ, and they was like, listen, you know what? I rhyme. I want to do this. I want to do that. I was like, okay, cool. So then you next up. So that's where the term for us, next up, came from.
Next up, I believe that's Mr. Daddy can get on a mic for the symphony.
Now, hang on. When you said they were your DJ, were they actually DJing?
Every last one was my DJ.
You see how like you had to know like hip hop jobs and shit. Like you might have been an MC, but a lot of MCs still knew how to DJ and vice versa. Like
you had to know how to be a hype
these
man.
days, motherfuckers. Come on, man. You was really educated in the business. Go ahead.
You was security.
So
all of that.
So what they would do is they became my DJ first. And this allowed them to come on tour, see the type of crowds, see what they had to deal with, deal with the groupies and get all that out their system. And then when it was time for them to make their record, because see, I've always shared the stage. I've never been selfish. So why wouldn't I want to see them next up, knowing that they're so great? So because of that, Sham was like, yo, Shani, I got this. I'm going to do that. I'm doing something. I was like, okay, fine. So come on, let's do it. So now they'll do that record. Then Shan starts to go on tour, starts to do his own shows. So now, okay, who's next up? G-Rap comes along. G-Rap comes with Polo. So now Polo can do the DJing and G-Rap is coming along because that is exactly who this group is. So now I'm on tour with Coogee Rap and Polo. So now they come out, they do their song. So now they have to go. This is
all by virtue of being in the same neighborhood, basically.
Of being in the same neighborhood, of having that connection. So then when Marley said, I'm not doing this for you, not doing that for you, Biz automatically became my beatbox. So now it's Biz's turn to make songs. He has Kane with him. So now he says, well, I'm getting ready to go out on tour, Shani, you know that. I said, okay, who's next up? Because I consistently toured. So now that's when I told Kane, like, yo, come on, every night you get on stage. So when he told the story on his Unsung, everybody was like, man, Kane was your DJ too? And I was like, yeah, everybody was. And that was just I don't want to call it just a rites of passage, but what it was it was a way of being able to get them out on tour, still get them some money in the meantime, and allowing them to be able to go in the studio. Because see, for me to go, I shared my studio time because the record company was willing to pay for my studio time, but I'd go in and do a freestyle. So I'm out the studio in 30 minutes completed. And then they got the rest of the time to do everything they want to do. So next thing you know, they already have a finished product to hand in. Right. So with the Juice Crew, that's why
for your budget though.
Right. But the thing about it was the Juice Crew was able to say, you know what? We all came through a woman. So the birth of us is always going to continue. We're going to all be great because that is how we came here. So rather than it was a girl who joined a crew of young men, instead it was a young lady who created a crew of her brothers and said, listen, this is what we're going to do. That's why today our bond is still so close. But everyone is their own individual star. So everyone can still go out and do tours and still go out and do shows on their own. No one needs anyone. So if we do it all together, then it's a big deal.
And still drop new music because Coogee Rap last year dropped the album. Phenomenal. Master Ace is still dropping stuff. All the guys. Kane. Why you ain't dropping no music?
You know why? Because I feel that the Roxanne Shanté platform is always to expose or give that platform for those who may not be able to get that platform. So if I was to do a new album or if I was to do a musical project, it would have to consist of some artist somewhere that's so dope, that's just not getting the opportunity to be heard. So I would do like a Roxanne Shanté Presents. I feel like that is what I'm supposed to do.
Listen to the pot calling the kettle black. As much people asking me, Rah Digga, where your new music? And that's actually my same response. Like, you know what? I actually feel like I'm doing a greater service co-signing new generations of females.
Yeah, like that's just me.
Now, it's surprising you only had 2 albums.
Right.
Yes? And Bad Sister and The Bitch Is Back.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Tell me about those titles.
I love it. Bully bitches.
Yeah, the Bad Sister.
I'm telling you, I'm a direct reincarnate of her.
I feel like The Bitch Is Back probably at the time you dropped that was a little, I don't know.
I think this. I did the album The Bitch Is Back because of, you know, that's what everyone had titled me. That's what so many people were saying. So I felt at that time, it was a way of taking the power out of the word, because see, if I say it, then you need to find something else to call me. Because now using that title doesn't bother me. Right. Singing that, not that it bothered me anyway, because I was a battle rapper, had been called bitches from day one. So it didn't bother me anyway. So because of that, I was like, okay, I'm titling my album The Bitch Is Back, because I needed to return. So doing that return and saying The Bitch Is Back, and then putting a single like Big Mama on it and letting them know like, okay, that's it, I'm done. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm finished. This is all I needed to do. And doing 2 albums was great for me, because you figure I did 2 albums and have a career now that spans 35 years on just 2 albums, where some people do 35 albums in 2 years and people forget about it.
Right,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
So I think the concept of that was to be able to do that. Like, just thinking about how we felt about our music and our albums back then, there were no such thing as fillers. See, now a lot of artists do what they call fillers. All we want is, because the record companies were pushing them to do that. All you got to do is have 1 or 2 hits, and then the rest of the stuff you just throw on the album.
Well, that's what helped to kill the music industry, I believe.
Exactly.
Because there was a period of time when, not to cut you off, but the record company was eating high on the hog.
Yes.
This was all during the 90s. Well, towards the mid to late 90s, where you were starting to get albums, like she said, there'd be like 2 or 3 good songs on an album, and the rest was filler. I mean, bullshit filler, like shit you can't listen to. You got to fast forward through the whole fucking album, but yet you paying $20 fucking for these CDs and shit, and it's just like, yo, I'm not gonna pay this for these 3 songs. So now here comes the internet, giving you only the songs that ringtones. Right, exactly. Yeah, ringtones help, because now I only have the song that I really like,
and that's it.
But you fucked it up by giving us these subpar albums that only had a few songs. If you would have gave us quality albums like they used to do back in the days, the kind where you put it in projects, and you just let it play.
See, that's the concept of it, right there.
You can't take it out. If you would deliver that, the record company, the records would still be selling.
See, and
even with the internet, it would still be selling. But y'all fucked it up.
That's what messed it up, because see, I come from an era where you never wanted anyone to fast forward your take. Because see, if your stuff got fast forward, it was disrespectful.
Exactly.
Yep. So you didn't want that. So you wanted your album to be something that somebody popped in and listened to.
Left it alone.
The whole time. But if somebody played it and then it was like, yo, just fast forward that. Because first of all, fast forwarding took a lot of technique, because you had to fast forward, stop it just right on the beginning of the other song, fast forward and stop it again. That's just too much work. So let me just give you a good album. You just put it in and let it play.
Yep.
Once they started having to fast forward, or either the worst thing was flip it over to the other side. So now you got to take it out.
Now you whack.
Now you really whack. Now they got to take it, flip it over to the other side. Now we got to search for something good. So that's what happened. So, you know, just I take a lot of pride in the fact that I only made, 2 albums in 35 years. And because of that, I still work every weekend. That's good enough for me.
So I have a question for one of my faves.
Okay.
One of the things that I noticed in the movie, you didn't really go into, like, it started off with you winning the battle, but then it took a more personal direction. So I was curious to know, why didn't you cover more of like Roxanne, the battle rapper, the Juice Crew days? Because I was looking forward to that. Like, that was really like Rah Digga's life growing up as a kid.
We wanted to see you digging somebody's ass.
Mind you, now you was
chew somebody's ass off.
Okay, got
you was my rap sister. I would say that would have been my only critique, from a personal standpoint. But I'm just curious to know why you took the more personal route.
Well, it was because of the fact that people are so spoiled with rap stories, or when they see a rapper's biopic, they assume that it's going to be a lot of music in it. And I didn't want to portray it from an angle like, okay, everything is gold that glitters and this is what's going on, because no one really wanted to tell the story of what they dealt with behind the scenes, especially and I felt that from a female's perspective, it needed to be told, because, so many of our young women are misled into thinking like, okay, well, you just rhyme in the studio, then after that you're going to have a lot of jury and all the guys are going to like you and you're going to be able to do this and do that. And, you know, there's so much more that takes place. So I just felt that I wanted it to be more of a movie than a long extended video of what I was able to do musically. That's what it was. I wanted it to be more of a message. And I think that we truly delivered that because of now the conversations that are sparked because of it, because I took a personal approach to it.
That's actual factual.
I mean, honestly, I hear that and I loved what y'all did. I still could have had a little more hip hop in it. You understand? Because you represent hip hop, like, you know what I mean? Like I just wanted to just see a little bit of rhyming, but what you did give us was a lot of vulnerability.
Yes.
Now,
that was beautiful.
What first of all inspired you to even want to tell your story, to be so vulnerable, and how did it even get to the point where we got a Netflix movie with fucking Nia Long and all kind of motherfuckers and
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, exactly. How the fuck did all that happen, sister?
Well, I was approached by Mimi Valdez and Nina Bon Jovi, and I was hosting an event for the African American Film Festival, and they said, listen, we would love to do your movie. And I'm like, okay. And they were like, you just saying okay? And I was like, yeah.
So
okay.
This is not something that you were writing something down.
No.
So the approach came to you first. That's interesting.
You know what? This was just like when I made a record. You know, this was like the first time when I made a record. Like I didn't go searching to make a record. You know, making a record came to me.
Deep.
And so I didn't go searching to make a movie. I didn't write a, script or anything like that. I didn't say, okay, I would love to tell my story, or please listen to this. I want to do this. No, I didn't do that.
Wow.
They actually walked up to me and we had a movie in less than a year, where some people take 10 years to do it. Some people take, no, we did it in less than a year. We filmed an entire movie in 21 days inside of Queensbridge Projects. And they were like, this is incredible. But because of the respect that I have for my projects and my projects has for me, and the love that I was always giving back and still participating.
Nobody fucked it up.
Yeah, not one time. So we were able to film consistently without any breaks, without any issue. And all of that is about timing. See, everything is done in divine time, and things that happen when they're supposed to happen. And that's just the way I live. I live, with the thought that things happen that are supposed to happen when they are supposed to happen. I don't rush anything, nor do I go searching for anything, because what you're supposed to have will find you. So even with the movie, I didn't go searching for the movie. They came to me and approached me about it. And I said, okay, fine. They said, listen, let's have breakfast tomorrow. I said, cool, here's my number, call me. We actually had breakfast the next day. And then we had writers and everything within 3 months. We were sitting there, and when I say that we had writers, Michael Larnell, who we used who's the director and the writer, I told him my story, and he was like, that's it. That's all I needed. So I told him the story over a series of just meeting 3 times, and told him my story, like, listen, this part, this part, this part. And what we used was, we made sure that the main line of the story was all organically able to be backed up with a 30-year visual, meaning the same scene with Marley in the movie, I have that on videotape. So that's why a week after we released it on Netflix, we also released 30-year videotape of him saying those exact things out of his mouth.
I saw that.
The same thing we did with my mom saying those things. Then we did the videotape with my mom saying those same exact things. And that was to, so that people didn't think things were made up, or people didn't think that this automatically became this dramatic effect for the biopic. Like, oh, she didn't really do that doing the laundry. So I let him say that. And then also with the Nas part in the movie, Nas told that in his documentary.
I saw
so it wasn't like, these were things that Roxanne Shante came out and said about herself. One thing about me is I'm extremely humble.
That part was heartwarming too. Like, it was real heartwarming.
Yeah. And so because of that, Roxanne Shante is very humble. And when you're very good at the things that you do, or when you're already blessed enough to be able to take care of your family and take care of others, and then the things that you've done for others, you see them be able to take care of their families. Right. You don't go around and just say, oh yeah, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. You just sit back, you take a humble seat, tea, you eat a humble plate, and you're good.
Talk about birthing niggas. This girl whipped nasty Nas into shape, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, threaten to whoop his ass.
Right.
Well, listen. When we come back, we're gonna talk more with our special guest, rap royalty Roxanne Shante.
Because I want to know how you feel about females today.
Okay.
Good question.
Peace. It's the absence of all confusion. United we stand, divided we fall. Two fingers together is the real peace sign, y'all. Brand Nubian PEACE gear. Hoodies. T-shirts. Snapbacks. Available at hoodcheap.com. Get yours today.
All right, peace. We're back. Yanadameen, Godcast, Lord Jamar.
Digga.
Special guest,
Shante.
rap royalty for this episode. We have
thank you.
Roxanne Shanté.
Yes.
And your rhymes are deaf. Right?
Please believe
That's
it.
what motherfuckers used to say, their rhymes is deaf. And that doesn't mean you can't hear.
It's amazing how rap has
Deaf defying or some shit.
evolved or devolved or I don't know, progressed, regressed.
Yeah, it's done a lot of that.
It's been a lot. It's interesting because you set a bar, then the next generation comes. Either the bar is raised or lowered depending on who you ask. I'm curious to know because I know my generation, who's not far removed from your generation. We have a whole lot to say about the artists that are out now. I'm just curious to know, like, how did your generation feel about us? Like, do you feel like we took the torch and handled it responsibly? Do you feel like we fucked it up?
And when you say us, do you mean in general or do you mean female MCs?
Okay, well,
I'm just wondering.
I was speaking in general, but I do want to get specific with females in a minute. But okay, so I'm considering you the 80s.
Okay.
I'm the 90s. I'm the late 90s, mid to late 90s. This early 90s. You're early 90s. I'm late 90s to 2000s when Dirty Harriet dropped. How do you feel about, like, from your generation to, I guess, MC Lyte was after you, to me, because I would say I came behind MC Lyte's generation. Like, how did you feel seeing the, with each passing generation?
With each passing generation, there were some moments where, I was a little saddened. And when I say that I was saddened, it wasn't the fact of, look at what's happened to female rappers. Oh, look, nobody acknowledges the fact that I, went through so much for them to now provide so little, So, I did have my moments. And at that time, that moment came when I seen the female rapper feel as though she no longer took her place of leadership, which was what I came in to do. I came in specifically with that in mind. I came in to say, listen, you know what? I'm not just a great female rapper. They came up with the term female rapper because of me. Because they didn't want to let me be just the best rapper, period. So they said, you know what? You will be the best female rapper. But before me, Shy-Rock, they were never called female rappers. They were the plus ones. They were the girl in the group. They never gave them that title. So they came up with that title because of me. But what it was I wanted it to be a position of leadership. Then I started to notice that a lot of female rappers felt that they needed to be part of a male crew instead of creating a male crew, instead of giving birth to a male crew. But you did have some of them that did, such as Queen Latifah. And then Queen Latifah, then you have your Naughty by Natures and those who came under her, so you were able to say that. And then Lyte brought Milk and Giz with her. You see what I mean? So you were looking at those different aspects of it. But when I started to sit back and see that the most prominent feature a female had in hip hop was the video chick, I was saddened. Because I don't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't understand what happened to the female rapper that now the video chick is the prominent. When you looked at females in hip hop and you put it in or you looked for it, the first thing that would show up would be the video vixens or the girls that was in the video, whoever was showing the least, but was not mentally doing the most. You know, how could that be? How did that? When did that happen? Was it that we went so far into looks that whatever she said out her mouth no longer mattered, as long as whoever looked the best, whoever's body was the best, whoever was willing to give the most, whoever was willing to do the most, all of a sudden became the most prominent figure in hip hop for the black female. That was sad to me. You know what I mean?
Feel that. I'm
you know, that saddened me. And then what saddened me was that every female after that felt she needed to look like that, even if she had the talent where she didn't need to look like that.
Real quick, who are some of the female MCs that you looked up to before you got on?
None.
So you wasn't fucking with Chirac or Pebbly Pooh or none of them?
I love them. But you asked me who did I look up to? As an MC, I looked up to Grandmaster Caz as an MC. You know what I'm saying? You're asking me as an MC. You're not asking me as love for my sister.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? You asked me as an MC. As an MC, I looked up to Rakim on delivery. I looked up to Kane. You know, I looked to G-Rap. You know, because at the end of the day, that's who I want to spit like. That's
so
who's
it's
flow.
not like you saw a female MC though, like,
and said that's what I want to be.
Yeah, like, well, she's rapping, so I could rap.
No,
like you just always just felt like.
I felt like
you didn't need that example, is what you're saying.
No,
you didn't need that frame of reference.
No, I felt that maybe.
Had you heard of them before?
Absolutely.
Sequence and all of that?
Okay. Right on. Yeah, absolutely. But I knew that wasn't me.
Right.
Now, if the record would have been, I'm going to fuck you right on up, then yeah, that might have been me. But, you know, that just wasn't for me.
Right.
You know, that's just not the type of hip hop or the type of rapper that I was going to be. I knew that from the beginning. Right. I knew that because, see, there were no other females to look up to for battling. Nobody else was pulling the plugs on people on the fellas' mics, and when they would show up at the battle, nobody gave that fear. You know, I was 11, 12, 13 years old, and when I would show up, they'd be like, yo, listen, don't give it a mic. I ain't never heard them say that about nobody else. I would have loved to have seen that, you know, because then that would have been okay. Then I wouldn't have had to feel like I was this mean person who, you know, when people see me, they're like, oh shit, here she come. Or, you know, all of a sudden, 5 minutes before the show, all the fellas want to be nice to me because nobody wants to be the topic of whatever my show is going to be, because they know that, oh, here she comes. She getting ready to she's looking for somebody to talk about tonight. Yo, ask her, do she need anything for the baby? Yo, Shani, I'm going over here. You need anything? You know, trying to be nice. And I knew what they were doing that for, because they were doing that because if we're on tour, see, the Juice Crew never had to worry about that because they would never have been my topic, because those are my brothers and I love them. You know, and I respect them. So I would never do that to them. But, you know, if we're on tour with other rappers, then, you know, there's a chance any of you could get it. You know, and if you do, I'm going to make it comical, and then it's going to mess up your show, because I'm going to show up in the middle of your show. And, you know, and I know at that time, maybe those were not the things that you did to make a camaraderie, but I felt like I didn't necessarily need that camaraderie because I came with my crew. See, I didn't come alone. I came with them, and I plan on leaving with them. So at the end of the day, I don't need all of that. You know, I don't do, Roxanne Shanté didn't do after parties. Roxanne Shanté didn't smoke weed. She didn't drink. She didn't do none of those things. You know what I'm saying? All I do is come in, do my job, and I leave. So that's what it was. Now, did I love my female rappers and my female sisters? Absolutely.
She's my spirit animal. I swear, this is like this is like me with the outsiders.
Okay.
Like I'm telling you, we get places like, oh boy, these niggas, here they go.
You know,
that was so us.
And that's you know the way I was with it. And as far as like saying like who did I look up to? When it came to being able to rhyme, there was a comedian by the name of Nipsey Russell, and I watched him do entire shows and rhyme the entire time. And so what I did as a little girl, I practiced it 2 days in a row. By the time the third day came, I had it down pat where I could rhyme about anything at any time. And I just didn't see any other girls who could do that. You know, I was feeling like I was like this lone wolf, like looking for somebody else, like, come on, let's battle the fellas. Nah, I like him. Like, what? He'll like you more if you beat him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I just remember the first female voice that I could really remember was probably Sha Rock.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it just, her voice was just so like hood, like, you just knew she was from New York City.
Yeah.
This was a New York City black girl on the mic. And like your voice kind of had that texture and reminiscence to it in a way when you heard it. Like, like you knew this girl was, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, and this was in the prime 80s. What was it like coming up in that time too? Like you was in prime Rope Chain, Mike Tyson, like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Supreme
Willie
Team,
Burgers.
Yeah.
Fat Cat and all of that.
Yeah,
Like,
there will never be another era like that ever.
would you tell them
there will never
how
be.
New York was and just how this whole
Let me tell you. Let me give you an example. One example out of.
Cause I wasn't famous.
Let me
yet,
tell you
but
something. One
I was
example,
there.
like one example
was
out of
there.
hundreds, where I remember us going to the Red Parrot. The Red Parrot.
Remember the Red Parrot?
The Red
57.
Wow.
Exactly. Now, right across the street from the Red Parrot was the Honda scooter dealer. They
Talk to 'em.
sold Elites and everything else.
Yes, they did.
So I remember, now this is how money was in the 80s. We left out of the Red Parrot. It was 5 o'clock in the morning.
Went and bought scooters.
We looked at the scooters in the window and said, we're going to buy those. What do? At that time, only rappers and hustlers could point at scooters and say, okay, we're going to buy those. So now it's 5 o'clock in the morning. What we going to do until they open up? Because they open up at 9. So it's 5, y'all laugh, y'all giggle and everything else till around 6. Everybody decides we're going to drive uptown. Because, you know, now you with some uptown hustlers, so they got to go uptown and go get their money out the building. You know,
At work.
And so since somebody treating me, yeah, let's get him up here to that building so that he can get the money for mine too.
Buy me a scooter.
So
I want a
we go
scooter.
uptown, we eat. So now we go
Willie Burgers
we
or
eat.
something.
Exactly. So we go and we eat. No, matter of fact, I don't think we went to Willie Burgers. I think we went to the spot on 135th Street, right there on the corner of 135th Street. What was the diner called on 135th Street that was open all night?
Oh, I forget.
Yeah, but we was at the diner there. So we eating, time is going by, money out the building. On our way down, what do we say? Everybody's going to buy scooters. So what colors do we buy? We buy red ones, white ones, green ones. Bam.
Red, white, green.
So what do we do?
Italiano.
So what do we do? Let's all go to the Gucci store and buy Gucci sneakers
And match it up with
so
the
that it can match. Now, let's all go pay for a suite at the Roosevelt so we can all change our clothes. So now we're going to change it to Roosevelt. We done bought the scooters, went to the Gucci store, went to Roosevelt, changed our clothes, all to do what? Let's all go park in front of Willie Burgers and eat cheeseburgers and hamburgers and drink fruit punch mixed with lemonades and be out there taking pictures and doing all that. But before we do that, I need to stop and go get my braids done at Billie Jean's. Once I finish there, then I'm going to meet up with all of y'all. Now see, now that
the flex was
This was all subsidized with crack money, ladies and gentlemen. Subsidized with crack money.
So now the thing about it is, you do that. And that was just one day in 80s hip hop. Now just imagine on the days when everybody decides we all want to dress up. Because see, at that time we were still so young, there wasn't no, okay, come on, we all gonna take a trip. Because half of us didn't have ID. So we can't really go nowhere.
Take a trip uptown.
So so we just gonna be fly here. You know what I'm saying?
On the corner,
we gonna
Willie
be
Burgers.
right. We gonna be fly.
Here.
We gonna be fly here. And then push
Well,
comes to
upstairs
shove.
was SNS and all
Right,
that.
exactly.
You know
So
what I mean?
SNS, so you
That's
still had
that's-
stuff to do. But, you know, so that was just like one typical example of what the 80s did. Now, do we all sit back and regret that? We do. You don't regret the memory. You don't regret the experience. But you regret what could have been done with all of that money.
I think
that we
every
just, like,
rapper
you know what I'm saying,
experiences that.
you
Even
do
the
that.
ones that think they're like monetizing properly and budgeting properly. Like, damn, I knew I was just vacationing, but I didn't need to spend $100 grand on a yacht
fur underwear at that time. I don't think I did.
And so those are the things that you experience from the 80s, and you know that time will never come again, because that love of self and that love for our people was so high at that time that now, see, that was when everyone, and though we still have those with honor, but at that time it was cool to be honorable. It was respected to be that way. Now it's so do for self, be on my own. Like back then in the 80s, we didn't have the term do you. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. We didn't have that term. We didn't have that term do me. We didn't have that term. That didn't exist in the 80s. That was some new shit that selfish motherfuckers came up with later on in life.
Thank you.
But we didn't have that.
Thank
you. You know what I mean? It was always about us and we. When you got on, you wanted everybody to be on. When you got money, there was no time that you could go somewhere and everybody could be at the dinner table and you know that he don't have no money, so now you want to call him out on that. Before people would do that, you know what they would do? Take money, fold it up in their hand, be like, yo, listen here, take this. Don't let them niggas even know you ain't got nothing. Right. That's how they did. I remember when bosses would hand out money before everybody went in the club, just so nobody in the club had to ask anybody for anything. Right. So like, yo, listen, take this, take this, take this, take this. And that was the love. But now, one person wants to be the person with everything to make everybody else look little
and be like,
and we'll call them out on it. Like for instance, like they'll say like, "Yo, man, take off. You got on my shirt and my shoes." No, back in the days, they didn't do that. Let me tell you something.
You be having all kind of mixing them. Yo, let me rock that Gucci hat, and I'm gonna let you wear my such and such. And that was nothing. And
let me tell you something. And even if they got mad at each other at the party,
they would never play a nigga like that.
They never played each other. They wait till they get home and be like, yo, and by the way, just send my sneakers to my house since you going upstairs, but never give me my stuff out. Like the selfishness that came along with the later era, and I'm blaming that on the hustlers, on the fact that their life was so temporary that it put the next generation in a bad position when you were rich when you was 3 and 4 and 5 years old, and then your pops got locked up, and now your mother's out here struggling, and everybody's telling you how rich your father was. So it raised a certain resentment. So then when he got the money and he got the clothes, he was angry. Not angry at the fact that people were teasing him, but angry at the fact that his father wasn't there. Angry at the fact that he watched his mother do things she shouldn't have had to do in order to provide certain things for them. So that anger came along. They were no longer happy. We were still happy in the 80s. If we had money, we was happy. If we didn't have money, we was even happier. Because the same way it was, if we ate at the Palm and had a great dinner at the Palm, you'd still have that same happy conversation if we had hero sandwiches from the corner store.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Factoid, as they say.
So
big old facts I'm seeing.
So that's what it was about the 80s. And that's the reason why, Roxanne Shanté won't make new music, because I embrace my time. And I like when people come to see me, I want to take you back to that time. I want to take you back to that feeling, that love. I wanted you to watch my movie and not just feel bad or sad for me or feel that I was vulnerable. I want you to look at that movie and say, damn, that was my mom's, my kitchen. That's how my dishes, my table looked. That's something my mother would have said. That's something I wore. Like, I made sure that everybody wasn't wearing all the fancy clothes and the fly sneakers and all this other stuff, because everybody wasn't doing that.
Right.
But people were still happy. So that was like the whole gist of me embracing who I am and why I will always be who I am, and I won't change from that.
And
I just won't.
There'll never be another like you, sis. I'm telling you. I look at females today, and the people say to me like, oh, you're so harsh and stuff, because I'm very opinionated, and I do speak my mind on social media and stuff with certain topics, especially when it comes like the females of today, and like even now with now that we're seeing, a multitude of women starting to resurface now, and I feel like when they have their when they're challenged by each other, the whole world goes in a frenzy like, oh, you're pitting women against each other and females getting along, and I'm scratching my head like, no, this is hip hop. This like you're supposed to challenge each other. You're supposed to duke it out and fight for who's the best. Like if you feeling Froggy Leap, bitches. But it's like for whatever reason, it's become a, now it's more about who sold the most, who has the most money, and at some point it went from judging talent to like now measuring talent is how much money a person has. And to see someone, who came from your era, who can clearly, who could clearly have held their own at that time and really do things based on talent, like how does it make you feel when you see, like, are you into social media? Like, do you follow like every little thing that's going on with like the new artists?
You know what? Actually, I don't. Good. I go on social media.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
Let me tell you, I go on social media, and actually, what I do is I do like my own personal little world with my own personal little followers, and and I'm verified on everything and all of these different things. But my main factor is like, okay, look, this is what Roxanne Shanté is doing today. This is what's going on, and so that's what I do. I don't necessarily get into everything, but I do follow as to when I start to see things between my hip hop sisters start to boil over. I will peek my head in, and I will make that phone call because I'm able to do that. So I'm like, hey, how are you? You good? What's going on? Yeah, well, no, this is what this is. No. Okay, listen. Understand what you represent and what you want to do and how you want it to be and how it's going to be in the end.
I remember Moni loved you. Check me one time. All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
stop being a bully.
So you want to say that. That's because dope. The reason why you want to say that is because the opportunity for female rappers, sometimes the window can be so small. The opening in the window can be so small. And now, when it comes to female rappers, how do I feel about the ones today? I'm very proud of them. I am. And I'm going to tell you, the reason why I am is because they are able to make their own decisions. A lot of female rappers in the past weren't able to do that. They are able to live their lives. They are able to demand things. They are signing deals. They are making, and I'm sure that, there's still going to be a few that fall through the cracks, but that's what happens because everything is not built to be solidly closed. So, of course, some things are going to fall through the cracks. There's going to be some things that happen. That's just nature. That's just human. But in all reality, I love where it's went. I love to see that, when you look at what a female rapper makes or what a female rapper has now achieved, she can stand toe to toe with any male rapper and say, listen, I sold this many. So now they can't say that only male rappers sell albums. That only that can be done, and that's how they were making it seem like back in the day. But, when you have an artist like myself, like Roxanne Shanté comes out, now, because of her, we're going to sign a whole bunch of female artists because we see that they can make money. Then you have another artist that comes out and they say, okay, well, what, Rah Digga comes out. Okay, so now we're going to sign some other artists because some other female rappers, like it comes in spurts. It's not a constant thing.
Listen, we could talk to you forever.
Oh my goodness!
Thank you.
There's just not enough time.
It's not every day we get like real hip hop royalty.
This is real royalty shit. And I just want to say that, for me, like, I really knew I made it when like people like you knew who the fuck I was.
Fact.
You understand what I'm saying? I forget the first time we met, but you was like, "Hey, Jamar," some shit. Roxanne Shanté know my name.
Yo, when somebody that you have admired all your life tells you that they like your shit, that's like...
Yo, I drank a 40
that's like gold.
With DMC one time, and this nigga was like, "Yo, Brand Nubian's the greatest group in the world." I'm like, what? See? Like, we done practiced in the mirror with Run DMC and all kind of shit, and I'm chilling with Run DMC. I'm with DMC right now outside the Rush offices drinking a 40. This is crazy. So it's only certain people, though, that make you feel like that. Grandmaster Cash.
Exactly.
Like Rakim. Just certain people, when you meet them and you like, wow. Like, this motherfucker really know I exist. Like, I made it. Like, my hip-hop dreams have come true. So,
thank you.
Yeah, you helped fulfill part of my hip-hop dreams just from acknowledging me. So thank you.
And look, and Nas's and all of Juice Crew.
Okay, and now you definitely fulfilled our fans, the fans of the Yanadameen Godcast by blessing us with your presence.
Well, thank you, and it was an honor to be
You are
here.
always welcome to bless us with your presence anytime
Thank you.
you'd like to promote anything or just come through and just chop it up with myself and
you
the
want
sister.
to let people know your social media and
Yes.
how to.
Okay, well, I'm Roxanne Shanté on everything. So that's the letter I, the letter M, Roxanne Shanté. And my children told me to put I am, but I thought they said I am, so I just put the letter I. So it's the letter I, the letter
I
M.
am Roxanne Shante.
I'm Roxanne Shante. And also really quick, speaking of rap dreams, we are going to start doing something new. Because this is a hip hop music show.
Talk to me.
We are now taking submissions for demos.
Oh shit!
We have an official email address.
What would that email just be?
Demos for days, and that's the number 4. So it's demos, DEMOS. 4 days, DAYS. So if you're feeling froggy,
leap, motherfucker.
Send us some stuff. Well, we're gonna marinate over it.
And if it's popping, maybe we'll bring you up here to
And if we deem it worthy,
shit.
you will get your shine here on the Yanadameen Godcast.
Or you could pay your way on.
But
anyway.
Are we paying to play?
You can definitely pay to play here. Well, listen. This is another fucking great one. I know
Awesome
the people's gonna love this one.
I know half the show I just sat here and like, speak, sister. I'm in church. I'm in church right now.
Big facts.
All right, so listen. Once again, for Yanadameen Godcast, I'm Lord Jamar.
And I'm Digga Digga.
Peace.
She's got to have it. Jamar. I'm never down to good shit, I'm gonna attack Jamar. I'm gonna walk and up into the show and then come up with a back with this. I'll be ready like Omar. When he wants to act fly, I'll just play like Diamond. Dumb bitch. Check out your funny head. You think I'm like swing. See your program the same. When you come and pick a wall. When I do a show, I get picked on the wall. Then I get my gear when I get to the ball. When he works in the back, the show, I had them all. I'm a rapper, child, rapper, but you know they got this. I'm let's up the kid. So when it's back on, break through. And get the regulator, but you everybody. Here we go. One for all. Brand new release. This one like brand new. I'm running one for all. This brand new. Hey, this one like brand new. Come on! Brand new, we hit shit, let's go! Hey! Here we go, hey! We got that for the news! Punch some up and get beat down! Beat him down, beat him down, beat him down, punch some up and get beat down! Beat him down, dig him down, man! Punch some up and get beat down! Beat him down, dig him down, punch some up and get beat down! We beat him down. One day! I was right on the train, I see these 2 years ago. I told me, I didn't say nothing, but these kids will not go. People will not go. Like a man, I'm trying to see what I'm swinging. I'm pleased to go get haggis, so I got it. So much a lot, I can rock the team, make the word time. Oh, yes, I'm the bad man. The bad man will black it if it comes to drop the ball. Hold on, right there. They're in the freak. Flow. They're up the party. Dance all night. They're up the head, talk about it. You want to have the stand of the street from my mom and my dad. I used to run with it, no pay. But somehow I knew that I was back to the ball. The black prodigy since I ain't a 20. I go right on the right on the slot. My name was my dad. Now they need to wear smoking. Everybody hit the floor. Three shoots in the hard rock. No woman deal with the brothers. He must be homeless. That was no vice for him. What they had to do is what the ass for this man. So it don't make shit to me. That's how it's supposed to be. Check it out, man. Hey, yo, I ain't going out, man. That sure shit is dead. I can hurt what I said. You got ass before. Yeah, I get it in space. Similar to the one that I got from the old day. Punch about to get beat down. We don't know. We don't know. Punch about to get beat down. We don't know. We don't know. Punch about to get beat down. We don't know. We don't know. Punch about to get beat down. We don't know. You walk down, should be fast, quick, fast, like my name was Flash. Put it in the job out before I pass. You know you have to sweet pink, nice thick, when you get in there to the plate. Now I might be sick. Who's the dick? Cause I'm not a hot. No. Fucking if I gotta do the fucking, she might not be stuck in the rectum. You know, brand new video, you gotta respect them. And I sack them. Yo, go burn this phone, you gotta who for what to do the pull a shot. Let the fuck over for punch you in your face. With the mother from your face. Then you gotta take blood in your mouth. Gotta bust out. To the devil, you gotta know what I'm fucking around. Maybe they can have juice all you day. Gonna have to arm you with a few days. To the devil, then you won't put that shit on. Maybe it's your friend. Why you laying on the floor? Did you want some more? I didn't think so. Just get well. I didn't think so. I suggest take the money and supply a pizza. Did you rub the door and decide to ignite? Lord, your mom will live low. From knock you so low to the head of the phone. Dirt flow. Give me power as the roll. Watch out, right, and you take the street, not heat now. Then hell will be your home, Lord, your boss. That's the slow you go. New York City, everybody, 1, 2, 3, go! Hey, baby, you hit the kid, hey! Now you can't sing, you don't care about your ring. What do you gotta pay my feet? Wonder where you got it, I'm behind my sleep. I don't know. I don't smoke dope. So what the fuck they knock me for? It's like the feel on your face, got a seal on your street, got a living in the day. On your crack card, you getting on the end of season, come back. They're already tweeted. There's a lot of juice now. You can walk with a sweat on. Now you seriously on. One sweat on, the next sweat on, the next sweat on. And you're taking the motherfucking bitch. Get a job. For me, you won't. I'm gonna smack you with a whole 7 cents. Yeah. You was flat once, now you're losing on your front. Started off light, only took a woolly good. But now you get a start, graduated to the right. Give it all the pull. How's she go? Yeah. Hand crack. You smoked up that stack. Yeah, hand it out because he rolled. What you gotta do? Slow down. What you gotta do? Slow down. What you gotta do? Slow down. Yeah, I do this and this kind of jam. She's always using, producer crash on the flexible tab. She loves me that tree like I love in that tree. You ain't paid? Shit, you got a fast dollar, the Hoover, the way you do. She's something up like a Hoover. Taking all your things again, nothing, say no things, and things are passing. Doing money, and it's mess. What I am is what I am. Well, what you all is a spending, you're on a hunt. And your plan is to take all you can from my man, I see a California, not original. Just a sick mixed up individual. Giving up the shots for a pistol walk. Walking up the good you get. Going up another up you know. Blazing action. Like those other standing. If there was amazing, anyone can dance. People on the hall came out to some of all of his assets are in order. Who's in this area? Is there somebody's order? So don't come around trying to make a profit. But you just let some another man stop it. Cause it's you're the freak show of the time. What she gotta do? What she gotta do? Slow down. 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 You don't stop. You don't quit. You don't stop. And you know. You think about the hot weapon single you strike. That's what I got. What should have been the paint that she used on your block sticking up between the empty right away and both the last. Why? Just things to get the casket slide up in the wrong one. In the casket. Sister. With no need to speed it. She was doing lines before she started bleeding. What makes a shit in after this fashion? Full more steps in there action Jackson. The real yo, man. That's killing shit. She laid on the man. And then you're right as hell. Who makes no mistake? Rock me the man more. Come on, picture that. Slow down. Get a little hook up. See, I ain't got a problem with the day. Let me strike the big over. And this is back to serious. Just a hole. And that's another controversy. You can make the best friend sing a song of mercy. Come on, kids. You can take 1,000 drinks. Rub that ass and I still pass. Hey, you're living fast. Say what? Hey, it ain't your style. You can keep it going wrong. You're living fast. Say what? Hey, it ain't your style. You're living fast. Say what? Hey, it ain't your style. You're living fast. Hey, it ain't your style. We're Nubian. MTV Raps. We love y'all. Come to New York, NYC. Give it up for Brand Nubian.
Peace. It's the absence of all confusion. United we stand, divided we fall. 2 fingers together is the real peace sign, y'all. Brand Nubian PEACE gear. Hoodies. T-shirts. Snapbacks. Available at hoodg.com. Get yours today.